Sound on. Transition. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you this evening?
Doing all right? Let's see. I see Jonesy's in chat, and so is Chip Sounder. Hello to you both. How are you doing tonight? And or this morning, because I know at least one of you is up early. Although, from my understanding, you're a night shifter. And then I'm not sure which time zone, Jonesy. I'm not sure what time zone you're in. But yeah, can't so far away. All right.
Ooh, are injuries better from running excessively?
Oh right. That was Chip, right? You were doing some running. Jonesy says I should be asleep right now. Oh, in that case, I appreciate you staying up for this one. So we're gonna do your puzzles first. Yeah, I do remember Chip said that they were had a few days off because of I don't know if it was because of the running injuries.
Yeah, training run. Well, no, didn't mention that, but yeah, the training, marathon training, I think,
Hmm.
maybe.
Or was that Elytron? Or were they both training for running? I don't know. Let's see. And Jonesy says it's 2 a.m. here, and they have an appointment in 7 hours, so hopefully it doesn't take us too long to go through their puzzles. Oh, this one's got a lot of rules. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Because I don't have anything else I want to talk about. So, first puzzle for today is going to be bit clock new constraint introduction puzzle. Chip Sounder says, I had to do all 7 shifts last week and back for 3 more after 1 day off. Oh, wow. That's a
Ooh,
very short time. Excuse me, time off. Anyway, alright. So, this puzzle is Bit Clock New Constraint Introduction Puzzle by Jonesy. Hello! Thanks for taking a look at this puzzle. This is an introductory puzzle for a new constraint I'm calling bit clocks. It's much simpler than it might first appear. Please take a moment to read the rule carefully, and the example will make everything clear. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Bit clocks. Each bit clock consists of an arrow cell and the 4 orthogonally adjacent cells around it. The digit in the arrow cell encodes the parity, oddness or evenness, of those 4 neighboring cells. Each digit 1 through 9 corresponds to a specific 4-bit parity code. See the table below. Each digit 1 through 9 corresponds to a specific... Oh, I just read that same line again. The arrow indicates the first neighbor, and the code is read clockwise around the 4 adjacent cells. Example: if an arrow contains 3, the code is odd, odd, even, even. Starting from the direction the arrow points and moving clockwise, the adjacent cells must be odd, odd, even, even, read from left to right. And that is because an even digit is on and an odd digit is off. Because O stands for 0. That makes sense to me. Alright, so we just gotta do some binary counting. Well, we've got an odd 3 here, and, well, whatever this is, it is going to have the same number going around it. So, whatever this number is, it starts with an odd number, which is a 0. And, well, I was going to say they all had to be odd, but this has to be the number here. An arrow cell contains... Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm misreading it. The arrow indicates the first neighbor, and the code is read clockwise around the 4 adjacent digits. An arrow cell... Okay. So this arrow cell is a 3. So what it says is that I need to make this be odd, and then rotate clockwise. Odd, even, even. Because a 3 is 2 zeros and 2 ones. If I'm reading this correctly. Because that's the arrow cell, and the 4 orthogonally adjacent cells around it. Okay, Jonesy confirms that that's correct. Because I was getting a little confused by the arrow here. But that might have just simply been the arrow to use from the software for programming it. Okay. So whatever this digit is, it starts with a 1, which is already an 8. And then the last digit is a 1, which makes this a 9. So these have to both be odd. And now I have another arrow here, which starts with, again, a 1, which forces it to be 8. No, excuse me. That's not a 1. Orange is odd. Jonesy says, no, the bent arrow makes it visually easier to see the first and last bit of the code. That makes sense. 9s are odd. So the first and last digit of this is off. So this has to either be a 2, a 4, or a 6. Which isn't super helpful. That's because those are the only 2 digits that could possibly be on. Now this one, because the 1's digit is on, must be odd. But it has to be smaller than 8. And actually, I have all of my digits here. But that means it had to be odd. So now this has to be a 2, because this bit has to be on. And if this is even, then its last digit is odd. And so only the 8 bit is on. Okay, so we have 1 and 4, which is 5, and we don't have 2, so this is a 5, and these aren't. So this is on because it's off. Both of these have to be even, In fact, we know this one's even because its ones digit is off. And this is the ones digit, and that's the fours digit. So this must be a 7, where this one is even, 1. And now this one has to be even because its ones digit is off. This one has to be 8. Those are both on. This one has its twos digit on, so it is 2 or 6. So the 8 digit cannot be on, so that's odd. And now this one is odds everywhere, so this has to be on in the 4 position. So we get a 6 here, which is going to be... No?
Well, the fog didn't clear, so that was wrong.
Well, this 6
Oh, I
is
see. It
clearing it
cleared
down
down
here.
there.
So this
Okay.
4... yeah, because this is the 8-bit, 4-bit, 2-bit, 1-bit. And since the only bit is on is 4, and then you've got... this has to be odd and even, 2 or 8. Yeah, it doesn't actually say how the fog of war clears. But there's a lot more text in it, so that's reasonable as to why that would happen. Jonesy says, looking good so far. Nice. I have spent quite a lot of time both talking about and considering binary values. Part of it is my programming background, but I don't really spend that much time with bit manipulations. Alright, well, all of the orange digits are 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. 5 is out of these two. This one can't be 3. This one isn't a 9. 1 and 3, 7 and 9, just a 9. 7 and 9. And then these two, 2, 4, 6, 8. 4 is gone from these two, and 2 from there. Oh, I do have these two. And the 8-bit is on for both of them. So this is an 8-9 pair. So that takes out 8 from here. And now, let's say this was the 9. Well, then that would be the 8-bit and the 4-bit, which would be 12. So this one has to be the 8, and this one the 9, and 8 is going to turn all of these odd. The 9 is going to make the ones digit even, and the rest odd. So then this is our final there, and those 3 are all on, excuse me, so this is a 7. An even digit means this one has to be odd, and that's the 8-bit, so this is an 8. This one has to be even, and it can only be 2, 4, or 6. It's not a 2. 4, 6 pair makes this one odd, so the 2's digit is gone. This must be a 4, with this bit being even. This one is odd, The 1's digit is on. The 4's digit is on, so this must be a 5. We have 6 here, a 2 here, a 4. 5 is on. This one is a 2. This one's on. This one's an even 6. Five is on there, so this. Chip Sounder says this rule set could be popular, and I definitely agree with that one. This one is either, this one has to be 4, because the 4-bit is on, and it can't be 6, which would allow the 2-bit to be on, because there's already a 6 in a row. So this is a 4, and then this one is odd and even. This one, the 4-bit is on, so 5, 6, or 7. Can't be a 7. Right. This one's on, so we need to turn on the 1's bit. 1 and 2, so it's at least 3. It can't be 9 because the 2-bit is on. It can't be 7. It has to be 3, because 7 would have the 4-bit. Jonesy says, let's say the reviews are mixed. But yes, so people really like it a lot. Some people like it a lot. Yeah, it does depend on it would depend on how much, because there's a lot of rotating things in your head that is going on. But when you said that the arrow being L-shaped helps you see the first and last bit, that really helped me. So this one has its 4-bit on. 9 and 8 don't have a 4-bit. This one, well, it can't be a 1, which means this one has to be on, which makes it 8 or 9. And it can't be 8 because of the 8 here, so this is a 9. And these two are both. This one must be odd. 2-bit is off, so it can't be 7. This one is even, so the 1's bit has to be off. We've got 2 or 8. Okay, 2 is the 2 in a row. 8, because this bit is on, this bit is off. 1 is already odd, and this last digit has to be even. 6 and a 2, 4 pair, so this is 2 or 4, and so is this one. So it's 2 or 6. 7. 3 is removed from both of those. 5 is removed from here. 5 is going to leave odd. So 6 pair places 4. 5 is no longer a possibility here, which means the 2-bit must be on. And now that's all of the evens in a row, so this is a 7, which makes this 6, 8 pair, 6, 8. That's not what the 6 looks like. The rest are odd. 5 and 9. Apparently neither of those are 1. 5, 9, 5, 1, 3, 7. Four or 8, but only one of them. Actually, what all can this be? 3, 8, 6, and 1, as well as 7 and 9 are gone. So the 8-bit must be off. And that actually makes it a 3, because we've got 1, 5, 7, and 9, which means this one must be even, and the 2-bit is already off. So this must be a 4. Even, odd. This one's 2 and a 6. 8 is one of these two. Oh, yeah, that should have been done already. 5, 7, 9, odd. And if it has to be odd, then this can't be a 9. So 5, that means the 4-bit is on. This one.
If you look at the bottom corner of box 6, 4, 6, 7, and 9 are left, and the C7 and 9, so it's a 4, 6.
What's left over in this row? 4, 6, and 9, it looks like. And the 8-bit is off. So this can't be a 9. So this is an even, and this one must be odd, because the 4 is gone, so 9. In either case, the 4-bit must be on. So that's a 4 or a 6, which is actually going to fix these two. And the 1-bit must be off. So this has to be a 4, that has to be a 6. A 5 here, which is going to turn the 1-bit on. And 5 means that the 2-bit is off. And then pretty much done now. This is the 1, this is the final 2 or 8s, and 8 goes the 2 in box 7. So then this is an orange 3. These are both odd, so this is our 8. 1 is here, and so is 7. I also need a 3 and a 9. 7's over here. And this one's 8, and this one is 9. There we go. Thanks for playing. Greetings, Jonesy, Killer Joe on Logic Masters, Germany. Yeah, that was a fun puzzle. I would give that one its solution. Row 9, the first 6 digits. In that case, it was a pretty easy puzzle, but it was definitely very nice. I think I'm going to have to call it a regularly easy puzzle, because you have to be really comfortable with the bit values and rotating in your head. The rotating the directions of like which one's the 8-bit, the 4-bit, the 2-bit, and the 1-bit, and keeping track of oddness and evenness is annoying. well, I don't want to say annoying. It's a lot to keep in the head at once. And so I'm going to say all of that adds enough complexity to move it from very easy to regular easy. But yeah. It is definitely a parody puzzle, as Jonesy says. But the fact that the parody means something on top of oddness and evenness. Like if odds had been the on digit and evens the off digit, then I think it would have been a little bit harder, because the odds being 0 wouldn't have the same, like I used odds being 0 to work with the fact that they were off in binary. But if you had swapped them, you wouldn't have that memory tool to keep that to keep those straight for me. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I may not necessarily be explaining my thought processes fully or completely, but yeah, that was the. Jonesy says, I tried to reverse the system, but it doesn't work. First of all, LMB and center digit would be the same parity. The leftmost bit and center digit would be the same parity. It would be a completely different system. Yeah. It would definitely change how 8s and 9s operated. Least significant bit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because for every odd digit 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, the least significant bit is even, and odd for all of the even ones. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and tackle the next one here.
Yeah, it does say it was dynamic fog, so.
So this one is Bits and Nibbles. Put that in the chat while I'm thinking about it. Bits and Nibbles by Jonesy. Hello, parity counter lines. The 2 digits at the ends of each line indicate the number of odd and even digits in that line, including the end digits themselves. 1 digit counts odd digits and the other counts even digits. And bit clock. Each bit clock consists of an arrow cell at the center of the clock and its 4 orthogonal neighbors. The digit in the arrow cell encodes the parity, odd or even, of those 4 neighbors. Even digits represent bits that are on and odd digits represent bits that are off. The corresponding 4-bit code for each digit, read from left to right, determines the parities of 4 adjacent cells. The arrow indicates the starting bit of the sequence, which continues clockwise around the bit clock. Example: if a 3 is placed in a bit clock cell, its code is odd, odd, even, even, starting from the direction of the arrow and reading clockwise. For orthogonal neighbors must be odd, odd, even, even. Alright, let's go. Now this one, the only thing we have to get started is these lines.
Well, and the two ends are going to sum to the length of the line.
That's true. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we know that whichever way these two are, they're the opposite of this one, which I can't make green, I'll make yellow. And these two are the same parity-wise, but I don't know whether or not they're yellow or purple. We've got a similar structure over here. Gray, black, but I don't have that many colors. I could go. Why don't we use orange? Because orange is odd. Well, let's just say we're not using parity colors yet. But we know those two are different. And now we know that this one, whatever it is, they're different. The yellow and purples are different, but I need to keep track of this. But then this one is different from this one. So these two are the same. So we have 3 yellows.
Well, in that line, the two ends are the same parity.
Right, because it's even. Like, so whatever yellow is, it has to be 3 or more. No, it has to be 4 or more. Because it's either 5 odds, 6 evens, or 7 odds, and 1 even.
Well, and aren't that brown and black opposite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the smaller of these two um, tells me how many purples are on this line.
Right.
Because I know that there are 4 yellows. Oh, and this one I know is purple. I don't know if that's helpful yet, but
The bottom line,
mm-hmm.
there again, the two ends are the same parity.
Yeah. If yellow is even, then this would be a 9. If yellow is odd, then this could be 2, 4, or 6. If yellow is odd, if yellow is even, and this would be the 1's bit and the 2's bit, which would be 3, or it could be 7, but that would be it. And if they're if purple is even, then this could be 4 or 8. If blue is even, this would have to be 2 or 8. But if it was odd, wait, that's not right. Gosh darn it. The blue value here is just the ones digit for both of these. Not the other way around. I want to say the 6 cell version is the best one. Think about, but I don't know. I'm missing something that's very important. Jonesy says, can I say which box to look for intended break-in without spoiling? I don't know if it's necessarily. I don't know. I'm open to the help for this sort of thing. My brain's starting to be a little fuzzy, which is annoying because I sort of feel like we just got started, even though we're 44 minutes into stream. And now I'm out of water. These two are opposites. They're a red-blue pair. So I have 2 blues and 3 reds, which means I cannot have a 1-6 pair. And Jonesy says box 1. Anyway, box 1. 8 or 4. If these are odds, then those two are evens. Which would make this a 9. I either get 3 or 7. If these are evens, then I get 4 or an 8, a 2, a 4, or a 6. Now those two are aligned. The larger value corresponds to yellow, and the smaller value is purple. kind of want yellow. Well, if this was a 2-6 pair, this would be 9 and make this odd. If this is 1-7, then this would become a 4 because everything would have to be yellow. So I have 1 purples here. If this was 3-5, this could be a 2 or a 6. Make that purple and both of those yellow. Two and 6 means this is on. One and 7 would mean this was on and you get 4. 3 and 5, you have this be either way. 2 and 4, make that 3 or 5. Odds, make this even, 4 or 8. 2, 4 or 6. I have got to start sleeping better. If yellow is odd, purple would be even. If it's 1-7, then this would be yellow, and this would be a purple 4 and a purple 8. Asking all the right questions, but for the wrong cell. Alright, 1-7. If this is 1-7, what does that mean? Well, then this would be yellow, and it's odd. This has to have at least 1 even next to it, so this would be a 4. This would have to be an 8, so then this would be 2 or 6. Wouldn't matter what this is. This would be odd. That would be odd. Row 2, column 3 is almost fully coded. I'm not sure what that means.
That's a clock.
Oh! Gosh darn it.
You just weren't seeing the clock arrow.
If this is odd, those are both even. Yeah, I'm not awake. Which means this would become a 9. Which means it cannot be odd. So, therefore, it must be even. So, yellow is even, and purple is odd. Now that this is odd, this must be a 9. And then this is 3 or 7, and this one must be odd. I completely missed the arrow.
Alright, so what are the other two around the 9?
They have to both be odd. And
So there's
now
your 2
that's my 2
odds.
odds. And evens. Not to mark those. But this one has to be 8 or 9 now, because that one's on. So these have
Oh,
to
that's
both be
even.
on. Yes. And evens are on.
Oh, on. I heard odd. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know if it was because the arrow was not dark enough or whatever.
Had all those numbers on top of it.
Yeah, I just
It was
wasn't paying
distracting.
attention. And I mean that's how I knew that these two had to be the same, is that because these two had to be different, and these two had to be different, and therefore these two had to be the same. So that's how I got that to begin with. So I just wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I knew that arrow was there. I just forgot about it, and then I don't know. I can definitely see it now. I feel a little embarrassed, but that happens sometimes. Okay, this one has to be even because the 1 bit is odd. This one has its 2 bit on, so it can be 2, 3, 6, or 7. Yeah. Jonesy says, which does something for the 8 bit? Oh, right. None of those are larger than 8, so this has to be odd. And because this is on, this one is even, and therefore 3 and 7 are removed. 2, 6 pair makes this 4 or 8. And this one becomes on. I am apparently way more higher than I thought it was. And now this has to be a 2. Because well, I already knew this one was odd. So I don't know why I said 6. 2, 6, 2. Two up there. This one has its 2-bit off. So it cannot be 2. Cannot be 3. Cannot be 7 or 6. Or 6 or 8. It's not 2. One, 3, 5, 7, 9. If it's not a 9, then the 8-bit cannot be on, and therefore the 8-bit cannot be even. And if that's odd, this one is even. And now that makes this one odd and this one even. Three takes out 4. And that's this one's 8-bit on 4 and 5, which makes this one odd. I get an 8-9 pair, which places a 4, and 4 and 8 are gone. And because 8 is no longer available, these have to both be odd. And now, well, this is the 2-bit has to be even regardless. This one's 8, this one's 9, so this one is even. Eight-bit is off. I don't know what I'm doing. So 8 and 9 are gone. 6 isn't a possibility because the 6 column. This one has its 1 and 4-bit on, which means 3 isn't a possibility, 1 isn't a possibility, and 9 isn't a possibility. So this one is odd regardless. But this one, if this one's even, this one will become 7. 8 can't be either of these two, therefore they're odd. These are both even. That's this one's 4-bit. So that can be 4, 5, 6, or 7. 4 is not an option because of the 4 in the row. this is a 6, these are both on. But if this is a 5... Wait, no. If this was a 6, that just makes this minimum 5. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. Jonesy says you can do some coloring in box 5. 2 has to be over here, 6 has to be over here. 8, obviously, means this one's odd, so that's a 6. 6 out is a possibility from here, which means the 2-bit has to be odd.
And that last one in box 5 is even.
That's true. 4. And that's the 8-bit. So this is 8, this is odd. Eight-bit is off. So 8 and 9 aren't possibilities. 2 is gone. I don't know why I painted everything else, but or penciled in everything else. This one can be 1, 2, or 3. Because 8 and 4 are both off. This is an odd even pair. So it can't be 2 or 4, which means it's odd, means this one's even. Chip Sounder says column 5 and 6 are done. 5 needs 1 more even, 2, 6. And 6 needs 2 more evens, 4, 8. And that makes this one odd. So the 4-bit is off. 5 and 7 are therefore off as well.
Top column 4 is odd.
That's 1 and 4, so this is 5.
Well, row 7
row 7.
has all the evens because of that yellow-purple is an even odd pair.
Yeah. Its 4-bit is on, so 1 and 3 are automatically gone. 4, 6, and 7 are options, though. If this was even, it would have to be a 4. Because if it was a 2, then the bit below it would have to be on. But I already have 3 evens. If it's odd, then I don't know. 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. I have 3 odds, but only 2 evens guaranteed. This isn't a 5, so this isn't a 1. And I have at least 2 evens and at least 2 odds. Yeah, because that's 2 evens. And then these 2 are both odd, so they have to be a pair of 3s. Right? Because 2 oranges is 2 odds. And yellow and purple is at least 1 even, and there's an 8.
Right.
So then that's 2 evens and 2 odds, which means they're a pair of 3s. And so these
So
2...
yellow is odd and purple is even. And even cannot be 7.
Yeah. The 4-bit is off, so 4 is not, and 6 is not. Now the 2-bit is
column
off.
2 is the 7.
Row 2, column 2. Which turns the 4-bit on. I've got 2 8s. Thought I did not. This is a 1, and this one's odd, which means this is a 2, which means this one's even, and this one's a 4, and a 2 over here, 6 over there, 5 over here. Which means this is even either way, because the 6 and the 7 both use a 2.
And that's 4 evens in the row. And that line has 2 evens and 5 odds.
Have I finished all of the arrows? This one isn't done, and that
row,
one isn't done.
Yeah.
The 2 makes this one odd and this one even.
Row 6 needs 2 evens. Okay, the clock in box 6. Can it be an even odd pair to the right and left?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Both the row and box are only missing one even.
Well, I was thinking more for the clock.
Yeah. If it's a 1, neither of them is even. And the even gets placed at the top. But if it's 3 or 9, then this one ends up being 1 and odd.
Okay, bottom of column 1 is odd because box 4 needs an even and an odd. So,
Right. And column 3 is just missing 6. I think these two are the only 2-bit clocks that aren't finished. I don't think I'm missing anything. If this is a 3, this is a 1. If this is 3 or 9, that one's a 1. Or they could both be 1s. But they cannot neither be 1. Right? Because if this one was a 3, then that would be even and I wouldn't be able to add anymore. And if this one was a 3, that would be on, and this would have to be on to make the 1. So yeah, one of these two is 1. It can't be neither of them. Which takes 1s out of these 2 cells. I don't know if that's helpful. It also takes 1 out of here. Okay, I need a 2 in this box, and it can't be here. needed 8. And then we get 4 and 6. This one isn't a 6. This one sees 7 and 5 in the row, and 3 and 9 in the column, so it has to be a 1. 3 and 9 in the column, 5 and 7 in the row. This one's now a
1 can
3
be
and a
placed
9.
in box 5.
There. 7 and 9.
3 can be placed in box 5. If you look at where 3 can go in box 2.
Seven pair makes 9. 9 is out, so this one has to be off. 9 is an option. This one can't be 3 or 7. This is in the column. This one is in 9. This is it. 1, 3, 7, and 9 leaves the only option being 5. A few more things that get finished. 7 and 9. 7 and 1 is 9. This is 5. Takes out 5. 1, 3. That can't be a 9, so it's even, so that's 3 and 1.
Column 1 needs a 9 and it's placeable. So now row 4 has all 4 even.
Six here, and not there. This one's 1 or 7, but the 7 up there fixes it. And I was about to say 9, but that's
5.
already in the row. This is, yep, 7.
7.
There we go.
Yay.
Alright, I think I'm going to stop there because there were a number of times where my brain is just like, you know what? Progress will not happen. Even though this was very clearly even. If I just looked at it for 2 more seconds after doing the stuff up here. And then I was hesitant to just put digits in. If I just did that sooner, that would have made that part faster as well. What else? Yeah, I definitely made it harder than I needed to. So, let's see. Row 9, the first 6 digits. That is not what I wanted. I'm going to say it was a little harder than the other one, so it has to be at least average. And I think if I'm honest, I can't go above average. It was just my brain not wanting to focus in a couple of aspects, because this arrow right here I stared at for I don't know how long. And so I mean I used the fact that there was an arrow there to do some logic in the coloring of this section, because I immediately forgot about it. Yeah, I think I have to go with average. I definitely made it harder than necessary for a reason. Very nice puzzle though. That was lots of fun. Seems like most people are putting it at average. Yeah. Anyway, with that, it's a little early, but with my brain being very fuzzy, I think I want to hit the stop button. Unless you want to keep going, Mama,
Up to you. You're the one with the
with the buttons and stuff.
buttons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. With that, I'm glad we got through it. It's not your fault, Jonesy. It's honestly, it's just I don't get enough sleep. So this is the end of the day for me. If I was better about my sleep schedule, or if I took a nap after I got home from work, then things would be better. I try not to take naps because it's supposed to be bad for your sleep hygiene, but I'm not. I get like 6 hours of sleep now. So yeah, I'm like pushing at the limits of. I liked the rule. No, I really liked both of the bit clock puzzles. Um, uh, so I I am not upset with the puzzle at all. It's just I am pushing my brain to the limits of its capabilities, and I should not be doing that because it definitely affects me way more than I think it does. And when I solve Sudoku puzzles or whenever I play Rocket League and I'm tired, it's just like, oh, being tired actually does affect me quite a lot. So yeah. So for um yeah. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and get over to the thank you for watching screen. So, everyone who watches this, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, that is going to be this week. That is all of the Sudoku this week. So Saturday at 7 a.m. should be more Sanctum 2. As long as I don't, as long as I can wake up, because I had to skip it last week because I was just too tired that morning, and yeah. So I'm gonna try and play Sanctum 2 this weekend, and then next week it should be. What should it be next week? Should be Monday and Wednesday. So if anything changes, I will update the schedule, but as of right now, it is Monday and Wednesday. So at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But that is all of the things. Yep.
That must have been Electron that was injured.
Yeah, probably. Alright. With that, I am gonna actually hit the mute button now. Have a good night, everyone.